In 2007, Volkswagen made a decision in a closed-door engineering meeting that would never appear in any press release. And for the next 8 years, 11 million cars flooded city streets with 40 times the legal limit of toxic exhaust. Yet the CEO who signed off flew home to Germany and has never spent a single day in an American courtroom. That's the part they buried. To the outside world, Volkswagen was the honest carmaker, the people's car. Born in Germany, grown into a global giant, and by the mid-2000s staking its entire American future on one clean promise: clean diesel. Their commercials ran during the Super Bowl, earnest, self-deprecating, a little quirky. These were cars that were good for the earth, vehicles that burned fuel cleanly, left less behind, did less damage. Volkswagen wasn't just selling cars, they were selling a conscience. And it worked. Sales climbed. Awards followed. The EPA publicly praised their technology. None of it was real. Here's what actually happened. By 2007, Volkswagen's engineers had a problem they couldn't solve honestly. American emissions standards for diesel engines were brutally strict, stricter than anything required in Europe. And VW's engines simply could not pass. Not cleanly. A real fix would cost hundreds of millions of dollars and take years they didn't have. So someone inside Volkswagen made a different calculation. They didn't fix the engines, they fixed the tests. A small team of engineers built what they labeled internally as the acoustic function. That was the name in the source code. It sounds innocent. It wasn't. It was a hidden software program embedded inside the engine control unit, the car's brain, designed to detect the precise conditions of an emissions test. Wheels spinning but not steering. A fixed RPM sequence. A specific acceleration pattern. When those conditions matched, the car's full emissions controls switched on and performed perfectly. The moment a real driver pulled onto a real road, those controls switched off. The engine ran dirty, 40 times dirtier than the legal limit. They marketed it as clean diesel. They knew exactly what it was. But that's not even the part they really didn't want out. When researchers at West Virginia University caught the discrepancy in 2014, a small academic study barely noticed outside engineering circles, Volkswagen didn't confess. They did something more revealing. They issued a quiet voluntary recall. They told the EPA the issue was a minor software calibration error. They issued a patch. The patch changed almost nothing. They kept selling the cars. Volkswagen looked the EPA directly in the eye and lied for a full year. The agency only forced the truth in September 2015, when they threatened to block VW's entire 2016 model lineup from the US market. Only then did Martin Winterkorn, the CEO who had run Volkswagen for nearly a decade, who had turned it into the largest automaker on the planet by volume, release a statement saying he was personally shocked by the revelations. He resigned 4 days later. Shocked. Now here's the part the headlines kept missing. While VW was cheating every test in America, European governments had their own data. Data showing that real-world diesel emissions across every major automaker ran far above what lab results showed. They knew diesel was dirty. They looked the other way because lower CO2 numbers on paper helped them hit climate targets without forcing any actual change. The regulators who were supposed to catch this had quiet political reasons not to look too carefully. The defeat device worked in part because the system around it preferred not to see it. Go back to that 2007 meeting for a second. 11 million vehicles, 8 years. Health researchers at MIT estimated that the excess nitrogen oxide from VW's defeat device cars caused approximately 59 premature deaths in the United States alone. In Europe, where VW sold far more diesel, independent estimates placed the toll in the thousands. Volkswagen paid. That part is true. The total U.S. settlement exceeded $30 billion. Criminal fines, civil penalties, vehicle buybacks, consumer compensation. The largest automotive enforcement action in American history. The corporation itself pleaded guilty to conspiracy, fraud, and obstruction. Martin Winterkorn was indicted by a U.S. federal grand jury in 2019. The indictment named him personally. It described specific decisions he allegedly made and approved. He remains in Germany today. There is no extradition agreement that covers this category of offense. He has not appeared in a U.S. courtroom. He has not been convicted of anything in connection with Dieselgate. He has, however, continued collecting his executive pension. James Liang, a mid-level VW engineer, was the one who cooperated with investigators. He pleaded guilty. He served 40 months in federal prison. He was the person who talked. He was the person who did time. The executive suite stayed clean, and that is the part that doesn't resolve. A corporation systematically poisoned city air for 8 years, sold 11 million cars with a lie coded directly into the engine. paid a fine its quarterly earnings could cover. The brand recovered. The stock recovered. The sales recovered. The acoustic function was erased from the software. The system that protected the people who ordered it is still running exactly as designed. So the real question isn't what Volkswagen did. It's who decided that $30 billion was a fair price for 11 million lies, and why we all agreed to move on.